Hello and welcome to HITC Sport. Right, the January transfer window is over and my word was it quiet. I've seen more drama in an episode of Country File. So what I'm going to do today is look at every signing made by Premier League clubs last month, all 20 of them. I mean, I'm just doing first team signings, I couldn't give a damn about Arsenal signing Kieran Rekik's brother. Anyway, I'll look at all 20 signings and give each one a lovely rating out of 10. Let's go. Matthew Ryan, 5 out of 10. As far as random transfers go, this one's got to be right near the top alongside Diallo to Man United and Julian Faubert to Real. It was all about the outgoings at Arsenal in January, but that didn't stop them bringing players in, and rather than fix the obvious problems they've got in North London, Mikel Arteta brought in a backup goalkeeper. It's like asking for a new car for Christmas only get a Terry's chocolate orange and a bloody pencil case. To be fair to Ryan, as far as backup keepers go, he's probably up there with the best in the Premier League. It seems like a bit of a risk from Brighton to let him go. But clearly Graham Potter's got faith in his new number one Robert Sanchez, meaning Aussie international Matty Ryan can get acquainted with Mesut Ozil's old place on the Arsenal bench. Martin Odegaard, 9 out of 10. Of all the Premier League signings this January, this was the most exciting one for me. Martin Odegaard's been all hype for a long time, ever since he graduated out of Nappies and joined Real Madrid. When he became a Galactico, he was one of the most in-demand teenagers on the planet, despite still being knee-deep in his geography GCSE. I mean, that feels like a lifetime ago, yet the bloke is still only 22 years old. His time in the Bernabeu hasn't gone to plan, but particularly last season at Real Sociedad he proved that he's going to be more than just a bloke who features on a Football Manager Flops video in 10 years time. He's joined the Gunners on loan after failing to get in the Madrid team yet again, and the Norwegian could be the Mesut Ozil presence Arsenal have missed ever since the World Cup winner fell out of favour and just became a drain on the Arsenal bank account. 2 Ozil references in a row, come on James, do better. Morgan Sanson, 7.5 out of 10. There wasn't a lot of actual money spent by Premier League clubs this season, with so many loan deals happening you'd think the blockbusters were back in business. But Villa actually spent some money, sending £16 million to Marseille to sign French midfielder Morgan Sanson. He's been linked with the Premier League for years with nothing happening, almost becoming the modern day Wesley Sneijder. But he's now a Villa player and he could be an excellent addition to an already exciting team. Dean Smith's side are playing great football and they should only get better when Sanson gets to speed with life in the Premier League. He's good on the ball, an eye for goal from deep and capable of doing the dirty side of the game. He's basically the French John McGinn, which isn't a bad thing. MOISES CAICEDO, 6 out of 10. All Brighton did in January was add a 19-year-old South American starlet, despite the fact that they're in the midst of a relegation battle whilst being heralded as the hipsters' favourite because of XG. Well done lads, you missed loads of big chances. Great. While MOISES CAICEDO probably won't play too much of a role this season at the Amex, the fact he was also being chased by Man United has to be a positive sign. Then again, I remember the last South American signed in the January window. CAICEDO's one to watch for the future, but for the present he's probably not quite what Graham Potter was after. Jean-Philippe MATETA, 6.5 out of 10. Crystal Palace added a striker to their ranks in January, which is probably a good idea considering their top scoring striker is Christian Benteke, whose mini renaissance ended quicker than some influencer's cringy TikTok video doing a sea shanty. I imagine. I don't use TikTok. Anyway, Mateta's arrived on loan from Mainz, where he's having a fairly decent season, averaging a goal every other game, which is about as good as the entire Palace squad. While Mateta's current record is impressive, he only managed 3 goals the season prior, suggesting that maybe the Frenchman might not be the answer to Roy Hodgson's problems, although I doubt Mateta can do anything about the old time and in the bathroom 5 times a night. Josh King, 7 out of 10. I mean, I didn't even know Everton had done this deal until I woke up on Tuesday morning. For all I knew, the Toffees had had a quiet month, then out of nowhere they gazump a load of rivals to bring one of the most in-demand championship players who won't cost an arm and a leg. Josh King had plenty of suitors, although not as big as last January when Man United tried to re-sign him. King won't be a starter at Goodison Park, but he's certainly a great addition to the squad, as Carlo Ancelotti looks to get Everton back in Europe for the first time since 2018, when they were absolutely appalling. Josh Maja, 6 out of 10. Fulham added a Netflix superstar on deadline day. No, not the handsome fella out of Bridgerton, it was Sunderland Till I Die star Josh Maja, who returned to England after his excursions across the Channel in France. Maja's move away from the northeast was a big part of the documentary, with the striker scoring goals for fun in League One, and his exit effectively derailing Sunderland's promotion charge. But at Bordeaux, Maja's been less than impressive in front of goal, ending his time there with 9 league goals in 45 appearances. He's certainly a talent, but he still has it all to prove in the Premier League, which makes it a bit of a risk for Fulham fighting for survival. Ben Davies, 3 out of 10. You know what I was saying before about random transfers? You can file this one under the same category. It's been clear for months that Liverpool needed reinforcement at the back, yet Klopp's had to experiment with the likes of Fabinho and Jordan Henderson or the untested Reece Williams and Nathaniel Phillips. With Joel Matip out too now, Klopp was about to have to chuck Divock Origi back there. But Liverpool have acted late in the day and brought in Championship ace Ben Davies. The centre-back's been a star for Preston, and Klopp's had a lot of joy from signing players from lesser clubs, but considering the German basically said he would never sign someone from Preston in a normal window, I don't think we should expect too much from Davies. As long as he does better than Steven Corker, then I think this will be seen as a positive. Ozan Kabak 8.5 out of 10. Liverpool went transfer crazy on deadline day, adding not one but two centre-backs. Ozan Kabak was the more exciting of the two and could definitely be a future star at Anfield. While he was playing for a horrendous team in Schalke at the bottom of the Bundesliga, don't let that fool you. Kabak's been coveted by some of Europe's top clubs and could save Liverpool a fortune in the future if that means they don't have to splash out on someone like Upamecano. Once Kabak gets alongside Virgil van Dijk, it could go down as another wonderful signing of the Michael Edwards era. Amad Diallo 8 out of 10. Diallo's move to Man United was the biggest of the month, but he's a player we probably won't see for a while. But despite that, it's clear from his performances already that Man United have got a serious player on their hands, even if the fans think he's the second coming of Ronaldo, the Rolling Stones and Vincent van Gogh all rolled into one. Maybe don't overhype him too much, lads, he could be the next Rodrigo Possebon for all we know. Joe Willock 5.5 out of 10. Right, I don't really know what to say about Joe Willock, as I've never really been sure how good he actually is. Every time I see him, I become more and more confused. Is he an excellent prospect, a rough diamond that just needs more minutes to emerge into the star he can be? Or is he just really average and only looks good in the Europa League when the Gunners take on some pub team from Eastern Europe? I'll get back to you at the end of the season, but for now, I don't think it's a massive improvement on what Newcastle already have in midfield. Takumi Minamino 6.5 out of 10. This was the surprise of deadline day, as just 1 year after joining Liverpool, Takumi Minamino was shipped off on loan to Southampton. The Japanese forward just hasn't really got going at Anfield, struggling to get proper minutes among the elite players Jurgen Klopp's got. But will he fit in at Southampton? They've got a similar high pressing style, but he's going to have a difficult job breaking up the impressive combo of Danny Ings and Che Adams. Robert Snodgrass 3 out of 10. If Big Sam thinks Robert Snodgrass is going to keep West Brom in the division, then he's got another thing coming. The Scottish winger has blagged a Premier League career for long enough now, and while he has impressed at times, in reality he's just a little bit of a shithouse, which makes him joining Sam Allardyce at West Ham all the more obvious. Andy Lonergan 2 out of 10. I genuinely didn't even know this transfer had happened until I started researching this video. Andy Lonergan will be a pointless answer in years to come when it comes to Liverpool title winners, but now he's a Premier League player once again with a short-term move to West Brom. At 37, Andy Lonergan won't play a single game for the Baggies, and he's probably just been brought in to ensure that Big Sam never runs out of chewing gum or bottles of wine. MBAYE 6.5 out of 10. West Brom have got a former Juventus player leading the line. If that doesn't keep you up, I don't know what will. But while Juventus have had great strikers such as Gonzalo Higuain and Carlos Tevez, MBAYE has never actually played a single game for the Turin Giants. The 29-year-old has made his career in Turkey, where he's been a bit of a goal machine, but that's not really saying much. Alexander Sorloth scored for fun there, and now he's sticking out the RB Leipzig dressing room. DIAGNE is a presence up top, but there's a lot of pressure on him to get the goals West Brom need to survive. OK YOKUSLU 8 out of 10. The baggy signings continue, and OK YOKUSLU could certainly prove to be the best. Or he goes the same way as Gregor Kokoviak, and then they go down, who knows. But YOKUSLU is a decent holding midfielder who can sniff out danger like a drug dog at a rave, and that could be big for West Brom, who need to become much more solid at the back. AINSLEY Maitland-NILES 8 out of 10. Of all the West Brom signings, this is probably the most reliable. AINSLEY Maitland-NILES has been unlucky not to feature more for Arsenal, and his versatility could serve him well as he looks to prove himself down at the bottom of the table. It should certainly secure himself a place in Sam Allardyce's team, with the Baggies boss being very busy this month as he aims to drag this desperate side away from the bottom three. For all the January business, I still can't see it happening. Saïd Benrahma 7.5 out of 10. West Ham have made Saïd Benrahma's loan deal permanent early on, with the Algerian costing a potential £30 million. That's a huge investment from West Ham, especially considering they've just given up on their record signing Sébastien Haller as if he was a rotten sarnie. But Benrahma is a real talent and is already impressive for the Hammers, in a team that continues to defy belief each and every week. Seriously, why on earth did I tip these to go down? Jesse Lingard 6 out of 10. While this signing got some serious grief from one of my peers, I don't actually think it's that bad. We've seen at times what a good player Lingard can be for Man United, and he's just not quite that good that he can be in a team trying to win the title. But a West Ham side have got newfound energy and confidence. It could be the perfect place for Lingard to rebuild his career. There's no guarantee though, as he could quite easily just fade into the distance like Jack Wilshere did before him. It's a flip of a coin, but I'm optimistic, so I'll give Lingard a 6 out of 10 for his move to the Hammers. Willian Jose, 8 out of 10. We've reached our final signing, and it could be one that saves Wolves this season. They've needed a striker ever since Raul Jimenez's horrific injury, and it became evidently clear pretty early on that Fabio Silva wasn't quite up to the task just yet. So Wolves have acted and they've got Brazilian forward Willian Jose from Real Sociedad on loan, a top forward who could be the perfect Raul Jimenez replacement. It's a bold decision by Wolves to go for someone who wasn't Portuguese, but considering the Portuguese options were either Helder Postiga or Cristiano Ronaldo's Ben, I think Willian Jose is worth the risk. So there we go, that's every January signing from the Premier League rated out of 10. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to HITC Sport, and until next time we will see you around.